most dangerous individuals in your life right now aren't the ones who openly display their hatred. Instead, they're the ones who smile to your face while secretly plotting your downfall, or in some cases, even your death. You might think this sounds extreme, but the truth is far more terrifying than most people realize. At this very moment, someone you know could be harboring intentions far darker than mere dislike or hatred. What makes the situation even more perilous is how easily these signs can be overlooked until it's too late. This isn't about paranoia or fear. It's about arming yourself with knowledge that could literally save your life. What you're about to discover are 5 critical signs that most people completely miss. Signs that could mean the difference between recognizing a deadly threat and becoming another tragic story. These aren't random warnings or baseless fears. They're real indicators that separate simple hatred from something far more sinister. By the time this video ends, you'll know exactly what to look for, and more importantly, how to protect yourself from those who wish to cause you serious harm. What I'm about to share will forever change the way you view certain relationships in your life. Let's begin by exploring the first and most chilling sign that someone wants you dead. They become what I call the silent observer. This isn't your typical social media stalker or nosy neighbor. When someone has murderous intentions, they study you with an intensity that goes far beyond normal curiosity or even regular hatred. They track your daily routines, but here's what makes it truly terrifying. They do it so subtly that most people never notice until it's almost too late. Think about your social media right now. Have you noticed someone who always seems to know where you've been, even though you haven't posted about it? They might be watching through mutual friends' posts, analyzing every detail of your life. These individuals don't just follow you online, they create elaborate systems to monitor your every move. They know your morning coffee spot, your gym schedule, and even your preferred grocery shopping time. But here's where it gets even more disturbing. They start showing up in places you frequent, and their timing is too perfect to be coincidental. Maybe they suddenly start using your gym at the exact times you do, or they're always at your favorite cafe when you arrive. This isn't random, it's calculated surveillance. Let me make this crystal clear. This is the first deadly sign that separates simple hatred from murderous intent. These people aren't just angry or holding a grudge. They're gathering intelligence about your life with military precision. They're learning your vulnerabilities, your habits, and most importantly, they're looking for opportunities. To protect yourself, you need to start paying attention to these patterns right now. Notice who consistently appears in your daily routine without a logical reason. Watch for people who seem to know details about your life that you haven't shared publicly. And most importantly, trust your instincts when something feels off about someone's presence in your life. Now, let me tell you about Sarah, whose story perfectly illustrates our second deadly sign. She thought her coworker was just difficult, until she noticed a terrifying pattern. This person wasn't just trying to make her life hard, they were systematically destroying everything she had built. This brings us to our second deadly sign, the saboteur strategy. These people don't just want to hurt you, they want to eliminate your entire support system. They start by spreading subtle but poisonous rumors about you to your closest friends. They plant seeds of doubt about your character in your workplace. But here's what makes their actions truly sinister. They do it so skillfully that each incident seems unrelated. Think about recent conflicts in your life. Have you noticed someone who seems to be behind every problem, yet somehow always appears innocent? They're not just being mean, they're executing a calculated plan to isolate you completely. They destroy your reputation at work, while simultaneously poisoning your personal relationships. They create situations that make you look unstable, unreliable, or even dangerous. The difference between normal conflict and this level of destruction is the systematic approach. These people don't act on impulse, they plan each move carefully. They might even pose as a concerned friend to others while they're actively working to ruin your life. They're not just trying to make you look bad, they're trying to leave you vulnerable and alone. To protect yourself, you must start documenting everything. Save emails, text messages, and record every incident. Build a support network of people who know your character well enough to see through the lies. Remember, these people aren't just angry, they're executing a carefully planned strategy to destroy your life completely. Now, let's expose the third and perhaps most deceptive sign that someone wants you dead: the false friend facade. You might be thinking about that person who suddenly started being extra nice to you recently. The one who went from barely acknowledging your existence to wanting to know everything about your life. Let's talk about why this should terrify you. This isn't just about someone pretending to be your friend. It's about someone creating a perfect position to strike. They don't just get close to you. They infiltrate every aspect of your life. They become the shoulder you cry on, the person you trust with your secrets, and sometimes they even become close to your family members. But here's what makes this truly dangerous. Every bit of information you share becomes a weapon in their arsenal. Think about someone in your life who's shown an unusual interest in knowing your personal information. They ask about your schedule, your habits, even your fears, all while presenting themselves as someone who genuinely cares. They're not collecting this information to help you. They're gathering intelligence for something far more sinister. And speaking of intelligence, if you're getting value from this video and want to protect yourself from these dangerous individuals, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Just like how these predators study their targets, you need to study their patterns to stay safe. Remember, these false friends don't just want your trust. They want access to your vulnerabilities. They're looking for ways to get into your home, your workplace, or anywhere else you feel safe. They're not building a friendship. They're building a blueprint for your destruction. Now, pay very close attention, because what I'm about to reveal is the fourth deadly sign that could save your life. When someone wants you dead, they don't just jump straight to murder. They test the waters first. They start with what seems like harmless aggression. But make no mistake, this is a calculated escalation. Let me be crystal clear about this. When someone harbors murderous intentions, they begin with subtle threats disguised as jokes. They might say things like, "I could kill you right now," and laugh it off, or accidentally show you their weapon collection. These aren't random comments. They're testing your reactions and boundaries. You need to understand this pattern of escalation. It starts with verbal aggression, subtle threats, and intimidating comments. Then it progresses to physical intimidation, standing too close, accidentally bumping into you, or blocking your path. These aren't coincidences. They're calculated moves designed to gauge your vulnerability. Here's what makes this pattern deadly. Each time you don't react strongly, they push further. That joke about harming you becomes a more direct threat. That accidental bump becomes a shove. They're not just being aggressive. They're systematically testing how far they can go before meeting resistance. Your survival depends on recognizing this pattern early. Don't dismiss these jokes about violence. Don't normalize their increasing physical intimidation. These are not signs of someone who merely dislikes you. These are the actions of someone preparing for something far more sinister. Now let me reveal the fifth and most dangerous sign that someone wants you dead: the patient predator. This isn't about immediate threats or obvious aggression. This is about someone who's playing what I call the long game. Understanding this could mean the difference between life and death. These individuals are masters of deception because they understand that time is their greatest weapon. They don't act on impulse. They calculate every move months or even years in advance. They're not interested in quick revenge or immediate gratification. Their goal is something far more sinister. They want to ensure their plan is perfect. Look for someone who seems unusually interested in your future plans. They might ask about your upcoming vacation, your retirement plans, or your long-term career moves. But here's what makes them deadly. They're not asking out of interest. They're mapping out future opportunities to cause you harm. These predators are patient enough to wait for the perfect moment. They might spend months or years building what appears to be a normal relationship with you. They could become a trusted colleague, a reliable neighbor, or even a close friend. But all this time, they're just waiting for the right opportunity to strike. The most terrifying aspect of this sign is how normal everything seems on the surface. These people don't show obvious red flags because they're playing a much longer game. They're setting up situations that won't come to fruition for months or years, making their intentions nearly impossible to detect without the right knowledge. Now let's be real about something. If you've recognized any of these 5 signs in someone around you, you're not just dealing with a hater, you're dealing with a potential killer. The difference between being another tragic story and being a survivor comes down to what you do right now with the knowledge you've gained. Listen carefully. Ignoring these signs after watching this video isn't just unwise, it's potentially fatal. You now know the 5 deadly indicators: the silent observer, the saboteur, the false friend, the escalating aggressor, and the patient predator. If you go back to ignoring these signs, you're basically giving these people permission to continue their deadly games. Before this video ends, I want you to do 2 things. First, save this video for future reference. You might need to review these signs again. Second, check out the video that's about to appear on your screen about spotting covert narcissists, because often these deadly intentions go hand in hand with narcissistic personality traits. Your life might literally depend on what you learn next. Remember, knowledge is your first line of defense, but action is what keeps you alive. Stay safe, stay alert, and most importantly, stay alive. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.